Peace and blessings. This is your brother, Asarimhotep, with the Martin Delaney Center for Egyptology. And today is Umoja, Sunday, December the 8th. And we have with us a very special guest who is no stranger to this channel. Mr. Jean-Claude Mboli, and he has a new text that was released earlier this year called Epopee, Bantu, or Bantu Epic in English, from the Great Lakes to the Mediterranean subtitle. And we are going to discuss his book, and he's going to give us a presentation on the book, which he recently done at a conference, which he will talk about when I bring him on. So make sure that you got your notes ready. We are in for a treat, and all that and more when we return in just a moment. And we are back. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining the conversation. And again, we are in for a treat. And as I spoke of earlier, our special guest is Brother Jean-Claude Mboli. And many of you may be familiar with him already because we've had a conversation with him a number of years ago regarding this text here. This is his first book, translated into English, The Origin of African Languages. His work is in French, where he put down his preliminary argument on the existence of Negro Egyptian, the language family proposed by Dr. Theophilo Benga. And so he expanded on that research, and this is the accumulation of that text. And so he has released an update, the new text, the Bantu epic text, also in French, and I believe that they're working on an English translation as of now. And he is going into detail of a particular argument that he made in the first text regarding the relationship of ancient Egyptian to Bantu languages. And I believe that he is arguing that, Egyptian is a Bantu language, and that Bantu really is the proto-language for all the Negro Egyptian languages, including Proto-Indo-European and Semitic languages. So we'll get into that in just a moment. And so I just want to bring on our good brother, Jean-Claude Mboli, who is live with us in France. And I want to thank you again for joining the channel and sharing your information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother asarimhotep. And I would like to thank all your audience for being here to attend my short, real quick presentation. It is the same I just did at the University of Abidjan, in Republic of Cote d'Ivoire. And this is being done in French. I continue to speak in English, but the slides are written in French. And later, Brother Asa could see translation for you. And anyway, this is just linguistic items. So being in French, not a big issue. So if you agree, we can start.
No problem. And so for those, yes,
Okay.
for those who, to clarify, so he recently did a presentation at a conference in Africa, and so he's presenting today the slides and things from that presentation. The slides are in French. He's going to translate as much as possible in English, but then I'm going to come and do another video. It's going to be this same video. I'm just going to translate the slides into English and overdub it. So he'll still be him talking. And so in each place where he has his slides, we're going to put the English version up. So so the French speakers can see it and understand it well as the English speakers will come back later. So he is ready now. I'm going to add this. And whenever you're ready, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. So this is the exact slides I presented to people at the University of Abidjan on that day. And
hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Can you hit the mask link right at the bottom to hide that? There we go. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So the first slide just the title of the book, Epopee Bantu. What is the content of the book? So here is the summary. I will do. First of all, we will deal with the goal of the book, as the book turn around Bantu languages. We next move to the question as what is Bantu, the Bantu family of language, and then we will try to present some non-Bantu languages with Bantu features, and how to show the Bantu nature of such languages. And this process are called Bantuistics. And then we will move to the confirmation of the theory of the Bantu origin of any African languages. And after that, we will deal with a very important chapter of the book, that is the vocalization of the ancient Egyptian language. You do know that this is very important to all of us. Then we will present some consequences we can draw from all this analysis, and we will conclude. So the goal of the book is particularly to show that any African language is a Bantu language, and in order to do so, I provide a method for the demonstration. This method is based on the comparative methods and all things we already got from my previous book and from Obinga's and other researcher works. Also, I wanted to extract what is typically Bantu in a given language. And at the end, I also wanted and I proposed a way to date the different steps of the ancestral language. No, this Bantu language comes with different stages, different phases, and I gave in the book a method for determining the date of each phase. This is a relative dating, and we will conclude by this phrase, this consequence that justify the title of the book, that is the Bantu invasion of the world with different phases. So, what is a Bantu language? A Bantu language is a language that pertains to a language family called the Bantu family. It is a family that is determined by the comparative method applied on a series of languages in Central and Southern Africa. Okay, at the very beginning, in the 14th and 15th century, Portuguese noted that people on the west coast of Southern Africa, for example, at Gabon latitude or Angola latitude in the western coast, can understand people in the eastern part of Africa. And this is a clue to the same this language being from a given ancestral language. And then work have been done in the 19th century, middle of the 19th century, by Bleak, the guys that named this familiar language its current name, Bantu, by applying the comparative method to a lot of language in this part of Africa. And the main feature of this group of language is its nominal, its system of nominal classifications. You know, a lot of language throughout Africa share this typological feature called system of nominal classification. For example, Fulani language, Serer, and even non-African languages also have these features. But the one shared by all Bantu languages point to the same origin, same origin. This is very important to underline. And also, apart from this, they share also a lot of word in the basic vocabulary. And these words can be demonstrated to be of the same origin. This is just basic comparative work using the famous comparative method. For illustration, we have this couple of sentences, one in singular and the other in plural. In singular, this reads in English, this person will sleep. This person will sleep. And of course, the plural will be these people will sleep. And you will find right under this how four Bantu languages deal with this couple of sentences. In the singular, the Lingala language, the language mainly spoken in Uganda. In singular, they said Omu, Ntu, Ono, Aja, Lala. Knowing that Umuntu means person. Okay? And when you turn into plural, you get Abantu, Bano, Baja, Lala. Knowing that Abantu is the plural of person. That means people. So what do you note here? You know that the word for person in singular is composed of a root, that is Ntu, preceded by a prefix in red here, omu, okay? And it is that prefix that trigger the agreement on the following part of the sentence. For example, here you have the demonstrative particle. This, in that Bantu language, it follows the noun. It's not like in English. And you can notice here by O, the result of the agreement with respect to Omu. Okay? And regarding the verbal part, you have here this prefix. This is a verbal prefix that indicates the personal pronoun in singular, like in English, he. And it is in agreement with Omu too. So each time you have Omu on the verbal part, you will have what I call a recall pronoun that is always a. Okay? And here you have the prefix indicating the feature, because we have the phrase in feature. This person will sleep. And this ja turns the sentence into the feature tense, if you want. And finally, you have here the verbal root for to sleep here. You notice that even in that section, the true root is lal, and the final a is what is called in Bantu linguistics the vowel ending. Nobody prior to my work, my previous work, knows the origin of this verbal ending. And I demonstrated in my previous book that this is a lexicalized form of the infinitive suffix. This typically corresponds to ancient Egyptian I. You can find in weak verbs such as peri, from pair, to go out. Okay, so each time you have in the singular mode with omu, which is the first the class 1 in the Bantu nominals classification system, you will have the accord here, the agreement, O for the demonstrative, A for the personal pronoun, and the rest is just what is present to the verb. So typically, Luganda says this person, he will sleep. typically. You are obliged to recall the person here with this pronoun. You are not allowed to say simply as in English, this person will sleep. You must say this person, he will sleep. Okay? And when you turn the phrase, the sentence into plural, what change is just the nominal prefixes. I highlight it in red so you can see the difference. Okay? What is Omu tend to be Aba. Okay? Aba is the prefix of class 2 for the plural of humans. Class 1 is for the plural of for the singular of humans, and Aba stands for the plural of humans. This is class 2. And you notice that when you have O in agreement with Omu, you now have Ba in full agreement with Aba. Okay, you notice that in between the A here is lost when you make the agreement for the demonstrative. Okay, and the same thing occurs for the verbal pronoun for the third person of plural. Instead of having A, you simply have Ba. This is the same Ba you have here and here. And you can see that in citation form, Abantu simply means people. And this is very regular in Bantu because everything is in place and obey very strict rules. When you shift to Kenya, Rwanda, which is another Bantu language of the Great Lake region, you come with this very similar couple of sentences. You have, instead of Omuntu, Ono, Aja, Lala, you will get Uyu, Mu, Ntu, Aza, Rara. You see the correspondence here. Very striking. But you can notice that the demonstrative particle precedes the noun. It is the contrary of what we previously observed in Uganda. That means that, in the same group of language, this can change position easily. And we come with a situation like in English, because here we say this person, he will sleep. And I recall that in citation form, Umuntu means person. Abantu means person. And you see the switch here from singular to plural. You see the exact form, and the agreement you can have in red for the singular. You have mu, which is agreement with this u you get here, and with the usual a you have here, while the ja prefixes turn into za. This is also phonetically consistent. And lala turns to be rara. Okay? And this R in Kinyarwanda is something that sounds like an L, which is sound between an L and an R and a R. Yeah, like in my name, like the L in my name. This is typically a retroflex vibrant consonant. So you could see pronounce this lala if you want, will be understood. And in Lingala, you see the same situation. You can visualize here with the different color, and the agreements, and you can see the links between these languages. The grammar is very similar. And finally, I align with Shona, which is another Bantu language of Southern Africa. You see the very same things here with the corresponding particles and agreements. What do you notice? You notice that just this set of correspondence justify the genetic relativeness of all these 4 languages without any doubt. Because you cannot get this by chance or by borrowing. Only this prove the relativeness. And second, you can also notice that the most conservative languages are in this list are Luganda and Kinyarwanda, the very language of the Great Lake region. But when you move away from that region, you can see some simplification. The vocalic prefix you see here in Omu or Aba or Umu and Aba, you can see that this vowel prefix is lost in Lingala. You observe this in Mo instead of Umu or Umu. You observe also in the plural prefix Ba instead of Aba. And you also see that the U that terminates the class 1 prefix turn into O. U becomes O. This is also a kind of weakening. This is a kind of lowering because you put less effort in pronouncing this close vowel. it becomes less close by being O. So in this regard, Lingala is its way to becoming less and less Bantu. You know, the full features is observed here in Uganda and Kinyarwanda and all other language around the Great Lake. But with Lingala, you see yourself that you got simplification. And in Shona too, you see simplification in two levels. You lost the prefix O and A here. And also in the root part, you also see a weakening of the T that turn into H. This is a weakening. Okay? And also you can see that the ABA or simply the BA is turned into VA with V. B turned into V. This is a weakening even from Lingala Ba. This is slide 4. Slide 4. Okay, so here is the structure of the Bantu language, the general structure, and you can see this couple of phrases, this couple of sentences that translates into English in cette personne dormira. In English, it reads this person will sleep. And the plural part is this person will sleep. And you have them in 4 different languages, different Bantu languages. You can see in red the prefix omu that triggers agreement in the second part of the sentence, that is the demonstrative onu, and the verbal prefix he, the prefix of the feature, and the verbal root lala. And in red, you have the plural form, abantu, bano, and like. So you can see that Luganda is very similar to Kinyarwanda in the structure here. And then you have Lingala, and finally you have Shona. And you can notice that both Luganda and Kinyarwanda are very conservative, because, for example, the you have in the nominal prefix umu or aba, you have a verbal prefix that is called in Bantu languages, in Bantu linguistic, the augment or the prefix o umu. That augment disappear here in Lingala, because you have moto, mo, and ba, you know, and same thing in Shona. So the conclusion is that when you get away from the Great Lake region, the language become less Bantu. This is what this shows. And then this is for the Bantu languages. And when it comes to non-Bantu languages, you can detect the homo prefix, famous homo prefix, here in this nominal formation in Old and Middle Egyptian with imihat, for example. Imihat, that means the one who is in front. This is front, and when you put this prefix red, it means the one who is in front. Exactly the same function as omu. You see, exactly the same thing. And another Bantu prefix, Ubuntu, Ubu, that occur in the famous word Ubuntu. That means humanity. This same prefix is used in Old Egyptian as Bu to form, for example, the word Buma, that means truth, from Ma, which means truth. The same thing. And in doing so, you are performing what I call Bantuistics of the said language. So, along with many other such correspondences, I demonstrated in the book how Old Egyptian is typically a Bantu language. And the same thing can be observed in Hausa. You have this word, mutum, that means man. It is easily related to the Bantu word muntu, with the same meaning. And also, it has a very evolved form, mai, that is still active in Hausa. You can see it here, and it is related to the same mu, muntu, and the like. And you can notice even the Y here you observe in Old Egyptian. And also the Ba in Bantu is also present in Hausa. So is the Bantuistic of Hausa. And you can do the same with the Mande languages. In Mande, in Bambara in particular, you can see the famous Mu here. And even in Latin, you have the same Mu that occur in the word for monde in French. Monde has two meanings in French and in Latin. In the one hand, it means the world, and in the other hand, it means people, human. And it is in this latter meaning that you can relate to Muntu. With the color, you can identify which part is related to Mu and which part is related to Ntu. And the same thing with Ba. So is the Bantuistics of Latin, with many other items put together, of course. Next slide, we can have the Bantuistic of Fulani. And we start with something very important, a very important feature that is called in French mutation consonantique à l'initiale. In English, consonant alternation in the initial consonant. And I gave some example here to illustrate the phenomenon. When you have the root designative the Fulani ethnic group, in singular you have pool. That means one people, one Fulani people. And when you go in the plural, the P become F, and they say full instead of pool. The same thing, so you have PF alternation. And for the nose, you have hine in singular and kine in plural. So you have KH alternation. For woman, you have dew in the singular and reu in the plural. They said debbo, woman, and reube, woman. No, so you have GR alternation. For the blacksmith, you have bahil in singular and wahil in plural. So you have BW. In each of these cases, you have the plosive and then the corresponding fricative, always. And you have also an alternation with the nasal. For example, in the word for ram, you have bal in singular and bal in plural. So you have nasal B alternation. And you have the same nasal here also for the word for skin in singular ngur and in plural gur without the nasal. So N G. And this phenomenon is very strange and very difficult or impossible to explain typologically. And I succeed in the book to explain diachronically this phenomenon by the existence of a Bantu feature of the Fulani language in the past. They used to use Bantu prefixes, and this is the lexicalization of these Bantu prefixes that led to this alternation. So the very consistent explanation of the phenomenon has been given in the book, and by the way, explain also the Bantu nature of the Fulani language. Another explanation, another Bantuistics is exemplified here and performed on 3 languages. You know, it is very consistent with the Fulani, Peul, and the Betine language, which is an Akan language of Côte d'Ivoire, and the Adza language. Interestingly, this is a click language in Tanzania. And this click language, the presence of the clicks in this language allows Greenberg and his followers to classify this language into Khoisan groups, simply because of the presence of the clicks. But you can see here in this very striking table that this language of hunter-gatherer, because Hadza, they are hunter-gatherers peoples. You can see here that obviously all these people are related and are, by the way, Bantu of origin, as explained by the Rwandese version here at the bottom. You know, the same suffixes here, you know, the name of the people here, the Betibe on this line, the Hadzabe on this line, and the Fulani here, and the Rwandese at the bottom. And for one person of the corresponding ethnic group, you have the prefix, the suffix ni is used. For the plural of the same word, you have be that is used. And for the corresponding language, you have ne for the Betibe, ne for the Adza, and ni for the Fulani. And if you reverse to prefixes, you can find out that Kinyarwanda, that is the very language of the Great Lake region we spoke about in the previous slides, explain everything here. You know, so again, all these languages are Bantu, and the Bantu of the Great Lake region, represented by Kinyarwanda here, explain everything. Next slide. In the next slide, I have the confirmation of the theory through the reconstruction of the class of the humans. You know, I posit from my analysis in the book that the prefix for the singular of the humans is bu, star bu, because it is hypothetical, and of course ba for the plural. And for the animate, we have in singular mu, and in plural ma or mi. And you have this other prefix bu that denote abstract noun, like you find in Ubuntu. And I hypothesize that it is because of the latter, this bu here for the abstract, that the star bu denoting the human has disappeared. No, it is to avoid confusion between the two bu that the speaker of the first speaker of the Bantu language eject the bu for the singular of a human and replace it with the mu they picked up from the case of the animate. And the confirmation came from Lingala itself. Lingala is Bantu language. We already saw it in one of the previous slides. And the correspondent of the bu for the abstract is bo in Lingala, okay, like Bolingo. That means love, the love in English. You can see the bu prefix here, the ling root that means to love, and the o is the lexicalized form of an ancient bo form, you know, that is here in the form of o. That is why we got Bolingo. And all words starting with bo in Lingala is an abstract word. except this one that means parent of the wife. The parent of the wife in singular is called bo-kilo. And you know, this bo is for humans in singular, and it is exactly what I posit here with the star bu. So this bu doesn't disappear everywhere in Bantu. It persisted in Lingala in the form of this single word, bo-kilo. That all is the confirmation of the theory, because a theory that cannot have confirmation like this is not correct. No. Next slide. We come then to vocalization. As you can see, I developed a technique to vocalize ancient Egyptian, and my technique is based on using the proto-language, which is a Bantu language, as though, and many other African language, and also sources outside Bantu, like Sumerian, Semitic, that noted, transcribed some Egyptian words. And for this sign, the vulture that is translated in with capital A in Egyptology, I vocalize it as Hiri or Heli. And the Ani language, which is an Akan language of Côte d'Ivoire, has exactly this word to designate a kind of bird. It is the same here, and this is somehow the confirmation of my reconstruction. You have the evolution here in Middle Egyptian, then in Coptic. It is just because in Coptic the outcome is mainly A, that Egyptologists call it, noted it by with A, capital A. And the same thing can be done for the W sign, you know, this bird. My vocalization give out Huri or Hule, and Bambara confirmed this with the word Wulu Wulu. You can notice that you have this second syllable that is necessary to be taken into account. You know, le or Wuli. And when you shift to Middle Egyptian, you got the last syllable lost simply, and but you or turn into vowel, this vowel here simply. And in comparison, nevertheless, you have to take into account this second syllable. Otherwise, you will have difficult comparing some languages. For example, in the Ani language, the suffix used for the aspect, the past aspect is lay, whereas in most African languages, you have, like in English, like in Egyptian, you have wu or w simply. So you can say wu and lay are very different. There is no link, even though they have the same function to denote past actions or passive mode. They are different, but when you come to the origin vocalization, you can see that they are related. The lay here just take the second syllable, whereas in Bambara, in Zande, in Middle Egyptian, they take the first syllable, W. So vocalizations are very important. Next slide. I did the vocalization for all the 24 sign in the Egyptian alphabet, but a lot of work need to be done for all other signs. There are hundreds and hundreds signs to be vocalized. The biliteral, the triliteral, and the like. But I gave here some achievement. For example, for this sign, when you imply these languages, you can come to the conclusion that the vowel between this H and this M is U simply. This is the most economic way to vocalize this word. Now we shift to the consequences, some consequences of all this job. Next slide. And the first is the so-called Mayer law. It is a very difficult item in Indo-European linguistics, and Bantu will solve this the problem that we will see soon, and also the determination of the place of birth of the Indo-European language. This is also another outcome. Next slide. So regarding the Mayer law, said that each time you have in Greek this sequence GW, automatically you have in Armenian this other sequence R. GW equal Armenian R, or specifically RK. This is very strange, but this is the way things work when you put forth regular sound laws. And Indo-Europeanists have very difficult difficulties in explaining this correspondence. But you can see here that, taking into account the consonant alternation exemplified in the Fulani language, such as the GR alternation or the GW alternation that also exists in Fulani, you can easily explain these correspondences. You you have to start with this Bantu consonant. You have a G with an aspiration, and the Greek simply has lost its aspiration and get the G, whereas the Armenian simply turn the GH into R. Simply, this is a fricative version of G, like in the GR alternation. Simply, and also when you have this labiovelar here with aspiration, you got simply K in Armenian, and a weakening of the whole in Greek that gives out W simply. And this is why, this is how you come to GW in Greek and RK in Armenian. There is no mystery. Everything is here in Bantu, like you can see. No, and my reconstruction of the word for two in Proto-Indo-European is this one, atekwo. No, and this is far from what Indo-Europeanists did by applying simply the law of majority. They saw that most of Indo-European language has GW in the formation of the word for two, and they conclude that in the proto-language it is the same. No, it is not this way. You have to make reconstruction. I fully explain this in my book. You have to be more serious, and this is what you come at. And by the way, you got in English CWO, chuo, you know, and even this English or Germanic form is very, very, very difficult to explain by the Indo-Europeanists, you know, because they don't see how a voiced consonant can turn into a voiceless one, you know. It's strange. And the correspondence between the supposed Proto-Indo-European corresponding consonant and this chi in English is simply the result of the law of majority. This is false. When you apply everything, you apply the Bantu features, you see that the English form is easily explainable out of what I reconstructed here. You know, take what in English you have simply the dropout of the vocalic prefix here, followed by the loss of the aspiration, and you got the T simply. And the KW, the labiovelar here with aspiration, simply turn into W like in Greek, and you have two simply. And for the Greek, you have the voicing due to the presence of the A, which is a Bantu prefix, by the way, you know, out of Ama or Omu or everything you got that turn into vowel in Akan languages, for example. And you got also Erku. You have confirmation here in African languages. No, this law is no mystery for African languages. Here is the word for wood in Betine. Betine is also called Beti Eutile. And in Betine, you say Oduo to mean wood. And you have the corresponding in Agni, in Ani, the corresponding is Like. This is the culturally related language. You have Like. Like, that means thing. There is thing is semantically related to object, which is related to wood, simply. And you, if you are not comfortable with this semantic shift, you can simply imply the Fulani language. Betine has Oduo for wood, and Fulani is Leki for the same thing, wood. So you can see that while you have GW in Betine, like in Greek here, you automatically have in Fulani Lek, like in Armenian Erki. There is no mistake. It is directly the result of all these changes you have here. The result of Bantu feature of all these languages. The lexicalization of former Bantu prefixes here. And by the way, you have in Egyptian the famous word Medu, which means speech, or you have the Bantu prefix M here, Ma, that is lexicalized in this word. And in Bassa, the Bantu language, you have the correspondence Maliga here, that means truth. This is, semantically linked to speech as well. And you have the Ma here that correspond to M. This is simply prefix. And the L is here corresponding to the G, and the W with this G. So everything hold, and you can apply your phonetics and understand this in the framework of Bantu. Next slide. Here, in my first book, I placed the place of origin of Proto-Indo-European here in Anatolia. But this is not consistent with all the data I got in the book, mainly regarding the Italo-Celtic subgroup of Indo-European. Italo-Celtic that consists in the Italic languages represented by Latin, and the Celtic languages represented, for example, by Irish, have very archaic features that cannot be explained by placing the origin of Proto-Indo-European here in Anatolia, in Asia Minor. The only way to take into account all these features is to place the origin of this group of language here in Africa itself. Here, this way you can explain all the feature of Italo-Celtic subgroup, and also any other feature you encounter in European linguistics. And you can see that in addition to explaining this feature, you can see that the current places of the languages are very natural. You know, it is about land continuity simply. You know, here in Africa, the western part of the group went on to split here into Italic simply by crossing through Sicilia into Italy, okay, to giving birth to Latin and its descendants, and the other one simply cross the Gibraltar Strait into Spain, and that leads to Irish through France. And there are a lot of linguistic arguments that support this, and also archaeological findings also support this movement. And in the eastern part, you know, you have all the rest of the Proto-Indo-European languages. They cross through Egypt and get to Anatolia, and there they encounter an obstacle here. That is the Black Sea. You know, where they are here, there are only two possibilities to continue moving. Those who went west, you know, gave birth to Greek and Germanic language, you know, and together with Italo-Celtic, they form the Kentum branch of Indo-European, you know, and those who went east, unfortunately, encountered another obstacle, that is the Caspian Sea, and again they are to split into two subgroups. You know, the one that moved northwest gave birth to Balto Slavic, that further split into Slavic, and into Baltic. No, this part to be here form what is called the Satem block. It is just about geography, nothing else. And those who move southeast of the Caspian Sea form the Indo-Iranian subgroup that gave birth to Sanskrit in India and Persian in Iran, simply. So there is no mystery when you place Proto-Indo-European in Africa itself. And there are a lot of other arguments that point to this placement. Okay. So in conclusion, in the last slide, in conclusion, we can see what justified the title of the book, Bantu Epics from Great Lakes to the Mediterranean. We can see from the very beginning that the conservative Bantu languages are located around the Great Lake. We saw them through the Luganda and the Kenya-Rwanda languages. And then when you get away from that region, the Bantu features progressively disappear. And this is why other African languages became non-Bantu. But by applying strict linguistic reasoning, you can retrieve all these Bantu feature in those languages. That is the procedure I call Bantuistics. And so it appears that, you know, all the African people were around the Great Lake region, and periodically, by successive waves, they expand outward into all of Africa, and even beyond, to form Indo-European languages and also Semitic languages. Because, by the way, I also put the origin of Proto-Semitic inside Africa itself, in the region of Ethiopia. So this means that every and all Africans are Bantu people. We are all Bantu. We are the Bantu way of thinking, and Bantu is the core of African culture. And when we have to examine the root of the African culture, the African mindset, we have to go to the Great Lake region. People there keep all this heritage, and we have to pay attention to people in Rwanda, in Burundi, in Uganda, in all these regions, because they still have like the ancestors. And we can also project all this to all the mankind. You know, every people is finally a Bantu. Are Bantu people, because Bantu itself has different stage, and the more away you are from, the far away you are from Africa, the far away in time your ancestor have lived Africa, and the
recording in progress.
Sorry.
So this is the conclusion I reach in the language. You know, people like white people or Asian and the like are typically Bantu people, but Bantu of the very old version, you know, very old version. And we can retrace all this through linguistics. This ends my presentation.
Indeed. Let me
Thank you for your attention.
We appreciate it greatly. And this is a very powerful presentation. And just want to remind everyone, you know, of the book. This is Bantu Epic. It's written in French. And you can purchase the book at the link that you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen by the publisher, which is, and I've never heard it pronounced. So is it Esibla? How would you pronounce it?
Esibla. Yes.
Esibla Editions. If you can see, well, anyway, that's the website at the bottom. The light is shining really bright, so it's reflecting. It is a very powerful book. I'm still going through it and gaining some good insight. So we'll definitely have more conversations. I definitely want to come back to the Indo-European argument, and because Brother Jean-Claude Mboli is not the first to make an argument for a relationship between Indo-European and African languages. And there's at least one other author who made an assumption of Proto-Indo-European originating in North Africa. So what I want to do is have a conversation comparing the notes and seeing what that means. So you're going to have a lot of backlash on that conclusion, because you're going to say that white people originated in Africa, in North Africa. So that's how they're going to interpret it, instead of the language, the proto-language being born there is separate from a genetic argument.
We have to make this difference.
But again, thank you very much for your time. I know it's late out there in Paris, so it's just about 6 o'clock here, but it may be close to midnight. Where you're at.
About midnight here.
Yes. So I thank you again, and for the English speakers, you'll notice that the slides, I'm going to redo the slides in English, so you'll be able to follow if you do not read the French. And so they'll just be on top. So it'll still be him talking over, but you'll see the English version of the slides. And do you have anything to say before we go?
Me?
Yes.
No, I just have to thank you for the opportunity you give me to present my book and and the ideas I develop in it, and to thank your audience for attending the meeting. If they have questions, they can forward. You can tell me by mail, by any means, and I will reply. No problem. So I'm waiting for your question. I will reply.
Indeed. All righty. With that being said, I wish everyone a good day or night, depending on when you're watching this. And until next time, we will see you all later. Bye-bye.
Yes. Okay. Bye.
Feeling like I dropped the draw for and caught Uno. Came to kick the door where the game man judo. Pin game low, that's why they give me kudos. Inspired by the 3-0. 595, check it for a pack light. Hit the turnpike, slide to a baseline. Gotta sound like I just hit the A5. Oh, I'm so ready, by enemies necessary. We gon' be legendary, hold up. About to grow the payrolls. If you see the vision and you're with it, you should say so. Cause we about building, elevating the millions.
This program was created with the love and support of all our Patreon members and subscribers. If you are not a member yet and would like to see more content like this, consider becoming a member today. The link is in the description of this video. Your support is greatly appreciated.